So today is about having more details about our virtual retreat, the conscious communication and connection with your rescue dog, which is over 2 days, the 26th and 27th of October. And we are joining force with Annie Work, expert animal communicator, as well as a bestseller author, and she's got a range of healing as well, healing modalities to support what she's doing with dogs. So Annie, would you like to tell us more about you and your work?
Thank you. Yes. So hello, everyone. My name's Annie. I'm based north of Brisbane in Queensland, Australia. I am an animal communicator and animal medium. So I connect with animals telepathically, which is how they talk to each other. And I can answer questions that humans have for their animals, or I can mentor the parents so that they can learn how to talk telepathically with their own animals. I present free masterclasses every month for animal parents on all sorts of different topics to help understand your animal on a deeper level. I've published 3 books which are available to purchase from me in Australia, and I am happy to have conversations with people and just understand a bit more about what's happening with your animal. Sometimes they have changes in behaviour, or you're not sure about health issues, and these are questions that I can ask your animal as well.
Yes, so as I say, we're joining force because we're starting the retreat with you having this conversation with your dog. And Annie will be this medium and between your dog and what they have to say about the most concerning behavior. And this concept of this retreat is about that, to give your dog a voice and for you to be able to know instead of guessing or doubting, to know exactly what their perspective is about what's most concerning for you and about what can help them to develop into a life and a relationship that you will both be proud of and happy and enjoying together. And the concept, yes, starts with that stop conversation because that may trigger something in you that you wouldn't have expected. That could be revealing something as well you haven't thought about. And it will be with the activities we will implement together to place you in that space where your mind is open to possibilities to change, when you can effectively and practically make the transformation you need or work on it and start to make the change you need to improve your life with your dog, because having this knowledge will give you a direction. And when you have a direction, I think that empowers you as well to search for solutions in relation to that direction instead of trial and errors. You will have the certainty that Annie with her report will give you, and that will be as well sent to me as a copy, because I will be able to adjust and adapt or give you some feedback on the activities we will do together for to support what the results and what the revelations were. That will encompass the mindfulness that you may need to have to get you in that space where you are fully present with your dog, you are more relaxed, you are more connected to yourself, and then as well get some inner wisdom appearing that you may not have listened to because of the busy life and other issues you may have going through. But that will be to have that time, specifically those 2 days, to work first on the part of your dog on Saturday, with the words you will have from them, with the suggestion maybe Annie will have as well in the reports, and with my help and my guidance to heal as well whatever has been triggered. Could be as well that you had felt some resentment, guilt, frustration in the past with the situations you were coming up with your dog because they couldn't cope or they were not completely sure, or that was triggering something from their past, and a reminder that they brought with them in your life here with them, and that the healing will help you have this peace, inner peace and calm, in support as well of the report. As Annie said, sometime in 24 hours, she can see her client completely change because they have taken action from the report. So Annie, can you tell us about your experience with your
Yes,
client?
thank you. So just to clarify, as part of the program, as Noelle has been talking about, you will have a conversation with your animal through me. So I'm going to be asking them what is causing the behaviour that is most concerning to you, and then what you can do to help them to overcome that. And sometimes it may be something to do that has happened with their past before they came to live with you, and you may not be aware of what's triggering behaviours. Sometimes it may be a reaction to something that's happening around them. And so it's just fascinating finding out why they are actually doing the behaviour. And sometimes they're doing that as a message to you. They're trying to communicate something to you. So they're not trying to be naughty. So, you know, whether they appear scared of other dogs if you take them to the dog park, or if they've changed their toileting behaviour and they're not going to the bathroom where they should be. These are just signs that they're trying to tell you something about what they're experiencing. And then when I ask what's causing it, they can let me know. And sometimes it can be a learned pattern of behaviour. If they've experienced something stressful before, they may fear that it's going to happen again. And so they act in a certain way as kind of a self-preservation. They're trying to protect themselves from harm. So we can't tell from the outside, looking at our dog, what's going on inside emotionally and psychologically. And so this is a real opportunity just to find out from them what's happening. And just having that conversation will change your relationship. As Noelle said, they will really care that you've asked questions and you're concerned about their welfare. And as I said, you know, I can talk to animals, I can find out what's happening and what's causing that behaviour. And then within 24 hours, once they can see their human taking action, then they start changing their behaviour as well. It can be quite quick to see a change in behaviour. And even just talking to your dog, and once you know what's going on, and reassuring them that they're safe and they're loved, and that you'll do everything that you can to help them, that will make them feel more secure as well.
Yes, yes. And about that, yes, safety is essential to be able to do anything together. So that part as well, the chat we had through the last week with Annie, and yes, about the different elements you will find in the retreat. We talked about the importance of healing, the telepathic communication, and how to be in that receptive mindset to get the message from your dog, as well as expanding your understanding of your dog and their needs, because Annie will be able to tell you more about that through the reports and the conversation she will have. And all that comes together to create this beneficial environment based on safety. And the safety is not only your dog, but yourself as well, because some clients of mine will have this worry or this anxious anticipation, I would say, of what may happen, because they base that on the past, on the repetitive, maybe triggering situations, stressful situation they may have had, to foresee another event coming up, and translating and transferring that to their dog as well. So that's combined. But as soon as you have this feeling of safety that you can and you know what to do to help your dog, because you will get their words from Ali, that will change your dynamic. That will help you feeling calm, prepared, because what we will do in the retreat will arm you. We arm you with some tools, strategies, and practices that you will be able to repeat on your daily life, and to have you then confident and calmer when you approach things, knowing the action to take, knowing that you can do it, because it's so often as well that, can I do that? Because you are in a place before the retreat, that will maybe be the case, when you think nothing works, you are at a loss because you've tried things and that didn't work with your dog or with yourself. And having this moment when, in fact, you will, instead of trying dog training, something like this, you will get back to yourself, get back to your dog in the way of wellness and well-being, so that you've got this sound foundation to start with that clear up your path to do more, to do that in a way that supports you both, your dog and yourself, into having this new life together, this amazing life together, when you will be able to do more, to go maybe camping, to just even do some walk together, whatever it is that you have concern about now. We will address that specifically on the retreat, so that you have this feeling of empowerment, feeling of being safe, and as well having healed your own feelings and emotions, but as well heal maybe with your dog their past, because we will have the station specifically about processing your feelings and emotions, but as well to bring this universal energy that is Reiki to go where it's needed, to have this inner peace and calm that will enable you, that will enable you to really open your mind, even your body, your senses, because when you are fully present, everything gets into play, which comes from your, even your senses, which would trigger maybe your nervous system response as well, to see, okay, when you're aware of that, you can get into that mode, okay, stop, pause, breathe, and then assess instead of react, and decide what's best for you or for your dog. It puts you really in a different position than just the time when you just react and kind of overwhelmed because it's coming into you so fast and unexpectedly that you don't know, you lost. Having this time with the retreat, we'll have that pause for you and for your dog, when you can return to yourself and have reconnection with yourself and with what you can do, what your abilities and capabilities you may have forgotten about, but they are there. And it's just to reconnect to that, so that from the retreat, you will be able to see all this potential for you and for your dog, and have this fun, because we want you to have fun with your dog. Fun is a big part for dogs, to be present, but to have this interaction and connection with you. So that's come back to the conscious communication and connection we want you to have, and that's what the name of the retreat is coming from. The conscious communication comes from having this awareness that your dog is more than a dog. They can talk with you and talk to you through their body or through what Annie's skills allow them to do for you. And they're there as well to enrich your life. You may not be aware of that at this time because maybe stress is predominant, but they enrich your life because they're there for a reason. Annie, tell us what's happened with your clients, for example, that illustrates that the dogs are there for a reason in the life of a human.
I'll just go back to the point you made earlier about your feeling and your mood, because if you are apprehensive, you're scared about how your dog's going to react in a certain situation because of what you've experienced with them before, your dog will be sensitive to your mood. So they will pick up that you're feeling this way and that your energy is going to affect their energy. So that may heighten their nervousness as well. And they're caught because something is triggering them to do a certain behaviour, but they also don't want to disappoint you and they don't want to be a burden to you. And so they're caught in this kind of tug of war about how to react, and it's confusing for them. So it's just being conscious with some of the exercises that you'll be doing in the workshop to be able to get to a calm mindset, and just be open to letting things happen and being calm with your dog. That will make them feel a lot calmer as well, because they will be responding to your energy. And yes, animals can be in our lives for all sorts of reasons. Some of them are here to guard us, and they're very protective about us. So if someone comes to the house that they don't like the energy of, they will growl. And I've got a cat client and a dog client who both growl when people come to the door that they do not like. So much so that the mum of the cat actually chooses who she has as her workmen based on whether the cat approves of them or not. He's that decisive with the energy of what he picks up in the vibes. And if he doesn't think they need to be in their house, he lets mum know. Some of our animals do help us to heal, even though we may be unaware of that on an energetic level. And so if you have been unwell, your animals will instinctively spend more time near you or even lying on you to help with that healing process. And that's part of what they do. And some animals are here to help teach us, and they have a lot of wisdom to share. And so when we can connect with them telepathically, then they can start sharing that wisdom with us. So it's fascinating. Some of our animals have had lifetimes with us before, and you may not be aware of that. And you may not know that your animal who's with you now has had a lifetime with you before. So it's fascinating to me to find out what that soul connection is with your animal, because that can deepen your relationship as well. And sometimes they're being excessively chatty verbally because they want you to know who they are. They're getting frustrated because you haven't worked out who they are. And then once you can tell them, then they just calm down. And I have had that experience with a couple of animals, doing lots of vocalizing and changes in behavior. And when I had the conversation with one of the cats, he was missing his human brother. He'd moved away and only came back for infrequent visits. He didn't like being separated from his brother, but he also wanted his mum to know whose soul he had. And once she knew, then his behaviour changed straight away. He stopped all the vocalising, and he stopped his changes in other behaviours, and everything went back to normal. So it's such a relief for our animals when we can understand what's happening. They may be reacting to something that we've done. I spoke with a cat who was apparently being naughty, with her changes in behaviour. And what had happened was that her mum had gone away for 2 weeks and hadn't said anything to her. So the cat just thought, where's mum? And unfortunately, this cat had been through about 7 or 8 different rescue agencies and foster homes. So was living in a constant fear that this may not be a permanent home for her. And so when mum disappeared, she thought, who's going to look after me? What's going to happen? She was just so stressed. And that's why her behaviour changed. And so when mum came home, she was just letting mum know that she wasn't really happy with the situation and that mum needed to tell her. And because they understand what we're saying, you can say, look, I'm going away on a week's holiday. This is the person who's going to be looking after you. Then I'll be home. A lot of our rescue dogs do have separation anxiety. So if you can tell them where you're going, what you're doing, and when you'll be back, that can really reduce their fear and their stress, and any destructive behaviour that they might be showing. They understand the concept of time. So if they know you're away for 2 sleeps, they can count those sleeps down until you're back again. Or you can say, I'm just going out shopping, I'm going to buy dog food and dog treats, I'll be back in 2 hours. They can count those 2 hours down, and that just really helps them. So having this conversation that I'll be doing for you, and then I type up exactly what they tell me and send that to you in the report, means that you'll know exactly what your dog is experiencing and what they want you to do to be able to help them. And that makes such a difference, just that conversation. I've had people telling me the next day, they've gone and said to their dog, I love you, I'm grateful that you're with me. And they've seen changed interaction, like with the extent of eye contact, it makes a difference, or how affectionate that animal is being with them. So being able to communicate verbally with them is really important, and telepathically, we can find out so much about what's happening so that you can transform your relationship and both have a more fulfilling relationship.
That's so amazing. I love to hear those stories because I mean I speak a lot with the dogs in my care. Yeah, I have conversations like this, not telepathic, but definitely, yes, naturally speaking to them. And yes, that's what I bring as well to the retreat. It's my experience as a specialized pet minder for dogs with challenges, meaning the challenge can be anxiety, like Annie was saying, separation anxiety. I've got a few, anxious, shy, nervous, or even reactive. And I've got as well those dogs with physical challenges, meaning that they had maybe a surgery, maybe injury, or degenerative disease. So all that brought up this experience of giving dogs choice, giving dogs time and space that they need to be dogs, to feel comfortable, to get the bearings as well. And the same, I'm bringing my Reiki practice as well into the retreat, as well as my healing and wellness coaching that I do for kids and rescue dog parents. So the retreat will come to have you first start right after you register. You get a journal and you've got the photos you will send Annie so she can do the conversation straight away, and you can have the report even before the retreat. And then after that, you've got some bonuses coming up, like Annie's ebooks about rescuing the rescue dog, and the animal communication. Do you want to talk about those 2 ebooks you having fun?
Yeah, they're just very short documents, but just talking about some of the key points, like when you take on a rescue animal, what it means for you when you open up your house and your home to having that animal there. And it is challenging because you don't know what's happened to them in the past. And sometimes the agency where you get them from doesn't have a good history of them either. So you're taking home someone that you don't really know a lot about, but you want to be able to love them and be able to support them. So it's just some things for you to think about, so that you're not overwhelmed with the challenge of looking after them. And then the animal communication document is just an introduction to telepathic communication. And yes, we can learn to read a lot from our animals through body language, which is what Noelle does a lot. because animals can try and communicate with us through their facial expressions, particularly their eyes and their body language. Vocalizations, they can make different noises to mean different things, so we can become more observant about what our animal is showing us and what they're telling us through their verbal communication, and then an introduction to telepathic communication, how it works, and the kind of information that we can get from having that conversation.
That's great. And as well, I will give some 3 books. One is how to help effectively train your rescue dog to have a happier, easier family life together, and as well about wellness, some wellness tips for you and for your dog when you come together, when you do things together. So that's as well, you will get that straight when you register. So you can look through that. It's short as well, but very effective and powerful, like Annie's will be. And it will be as well the possibility to upgrade to a VIP with Annie's debrief. So meaning that you will get an expert insight about your report to help you maybe go further, faster, and to have as well my training one-to-one on a specific point, specifically, I would say, about stress relief or calmness with your dog and for yourself. So that's the VIP upgrade you can add to the 2-day retreat if you want to. And as well, you've got the possibility to have the recording of Annie's masterclass, because we will have Annie as well presenting a masterclass about animal communication, so that you know what it is about when she talks with your dog. Annie, do you want to add some details about this masterclass?
Yes, so with the masterclass, I'll be talking in the early part about animal communication, just explaining in more depth how it works. And then I'll be sharing some information about having a rescue dog, what it means for you and what it means for your dog, and just some examples of conversations that I've had with rescue dogs as well, which has really enabled their parents to understand more about what's happening with them at a deeper psychological level. And it means that we can be more sensitive and more patient with our animals when we know that they're still dealing with issues that we were totally unaware of. So I'll be talking about that in the masterclass as well.
Oh, that's great, yes. And that's so complementary. And I mean, like this, you have really this overall idea about talking with your dog and what's possible, and maybe go further with Annie as well if you want to know more. That's another option as well. And knowing as well that this retreat is not just sitting in front of the screen. You will have mostly activities to do, practices to implement. So that starts with the books, mindfulness books you will have. One is especially about sensory experience, following your dog, but engaging your senses. And the other one will be more about getting insight. So connecting, as I was saying before, with your inner wisdom, so that you can really see how you can apply that more frequently in your daily life to make the most of your relationship with your dog, to make the most of being present in the moment. And you will have some games you can do with your dog. And I will introduce you to the real dog yoga, which is different than the doga, because you will, again, engage this connection and this communication with your dog, allowing them to have to give you their consent to do the posture or position, and to as well have their choice to stop when they want to stop. So that's as well something you can add to your dog training as well. So you will see the application of the activities and games, or I call that games with a purpose, to have this application into your specific situation. So we will do those time of reflection as well. Then you can journal what you are experiencing with us at the retreat with your dog, what you see your dog doing, how he's showing differently to you, how he's revealing, or I say he, that how they're revealing themselves to you. And it will be this as well, transformation at a deeper level, because you have heard their voice, you know about their specific needs with the behavior you are most worried about. And then you will have started to show them that, yes, you heard them, you listened to them, and you will do something about it. And this retreat will be that, to help you to straight away get into action. And I'm here if you need as well support or guidance to do something. Maybe you don't know how to approach it, what that can be like for you or for your dog. I'm happy to be there for you, and you can ask me questions about that. I can give you feedback. And the reflection time will be about all the processing you will need to do through the conversation and the reports you will have from this conversation with Annie and your dog, and processing all the practices we will have done in the morning, for example. And as I say, the Saturday is specifically focused on your dog. So the real dog yoga, we start with just maybe observing them to know about the way they express themselves. As Annie was talking, the canine body language, it's such an important part of being able to help your dog when they need it and before they need it. And that will be as well to assert yourself in the way that you know that you will be able to be the advocate for your dog, because you will have this knowledge, you will have those skills, you will have practice. And in the evening, to come together with what you have done on the day, you will have access to a recording for sound healing, because we are all sensitive to frequencies and vibrations. And the sound healing will help you to connect at a cellular level, at a sound frequency vibrations level, that really maybe unify everything you would have seen, tried, done so far with us until that point. And the same, dogs as well are very sensitive to frequency and vibration. Like we talked about in our previous chat, words you're using, so sound you use will be this one specifically to give you this calm, this relaxing time where you can just be with your dog without any worries, just be there and just getting transported into those sounds, those crystal balls that I will have from Diane Alexander. She kindly allowed me to use a previous recording of her sound healing when we had talked about healing with your dog. So that will be accessible to you in the evening, just to get all that together and have you grounded and centered, and yes, together again to process everything peacefully and with, yes, with ease. I would say ease is something very much absent when you stressed about dogs and their behavior. That will be that for the Saturday. And the Sunday will be about you, because as Annie said, your energy, your mood, your emotions and feelings affect your dog, because by your disposition, you affect the environment of your dog, which they are tuned into. And that will be again mindfulness, this time of reflecting about what may be the stress you had related to your dog's behavior may have been related too, because Annie was saying the dogs had this behavior because maybe of past experiences and past, yes, reaction or yes, experiences. But you have as well brought into this relationship your own past experiences and maybe trauma, I don't know. That we have an exercise specifically for that, to be aware of this trigger that you may not have been aware of. And that's as well to have you process them, because when you start to be aware, stay with that and accept and acknowledge them and accept them, you are able to say thank you first, because they are information for you. It's an element of growth. So it's something you will work with to have you know something, discover something again that those feelings and emotions were there to tell you about. So by processing those stressful emotions or feelings, and sometimes maybe just intense emotions and feelings, you will be able to, again, be in alignment, mind, body, and spirit, to be reconnecting with yourself. So reconfirming that you are open to your inner wisdom, lessons or teaching, and that you are able as well to learn from your dog. So it puts you in a different perspective about those situations, meaning that when you come calm, confident, and self-aware in a situation that before was triggering for your dog, you will see that differently. You will approach that knowing that you can do something about it, knowing that you can help your dog. So again, it's about empowerment for you. And this exercise will be as useful as it is for you and your dog, as it will be in your life in general. You will be able to apply that in different situations. So that's another form of healing that you will bring to yourself and to your dog at the same time. And after that, it will be again to make peace with this past, this trigger past, stressful situation, make peace with yourself and with your dog. Because sometimes, yes, that conflictual situation you're having with your dog's behavior puts you in a place that can trigger resentment, guilt, frustration, fear. I mean, all those kind of lower frequency feelings and emotions. So by having this work done, you will be able to have this healing coming from deep inside. And that's what I want to have you experience at the end of the retreat, that you are completely at a different place. From the start of the retreat to when we would say goodbye, that you will feel this connection, this way of changing your life and transforming your relationship with your dog, that will open up a brighter future together. That will be for you to decide, okay, I can do that again and again, and I will be open or more open to what my dog is telling me, more open to as well communicating with them, and decide that you can make that change. You can take action, be proactive. So by being proactive as well, that's a way to reduce your stress, because you decide what you are doing instead of being imposed by situation or by, yes, your emotions. You decide. So that's those 2 days. And Annie, if you want to add something.
Look, I think it's a really holistic approach to changing your relationship with your dog. And there's going to be so many practices that are really going to be lifelong skills to help both of you. And through this process, you're going to be empowered and your dog is going to be empowered. And so that really is going to change things. And so you will feel a deeper connection with your dog and understanding what's happening for them and seeing changes in their behavior is going to reduce your stress as well. So it's being a team, being partners, working together with them, with Noelle's expert guidance with the different activities to help achieve that. So I think it's a really exciting opportunity for you and your dog.
Yes, yes. And thanks, Annie, to be joining me to co-host this retreat, because that's an add-on that not everybody can have or not think of. And sorry, excuse me. And just to have you on board is really great, because it's such a, I mean, for me, it's open mind to have this concept of being together on this plane. And I'm about universal connection and universal power and universal energy. And I think it's just a glimpse we have to know all that's possible around us, and to have just this first step towards this. Yes, I mean, I think it's amazing. And as you said, yes, transformative, and it's just the start with us, but it's a lifetime of skills that you can apply again and again. And for your dog as well. I mean, as Annie said, your dog will be so surprised that they're able to talk, to share their point of view, and that you allow that to happen as well. I mean, that's transformed a relationship completely. I mean, yes, imagine that. So we will see you on the 26th and 27th of October for this retreat. It will be virtual, online, global, and the time is not mentioned on purpose because we will adjust to different time zones. So we will start 7:30 for the Australian time, the West Australian time, but you will have later on for the UK and the States. So we have different time zones, and that will be adjusted to you to be able to join and to do those practices in real time, in your daytime. And so you will be able to have the same experience than everybody. I'm so looking forward to help you with your rescue dog, as Annie is, as I know. And it will be really something you will have on board with your dog that create this pivotal moment for you both, to this life you have ever wanted, to a life you will love with more ease, happy memories, and more fun. So thank you for being here with us today or watching the replay. And thank you for joining us. The 10th first to register for the retreat, we'll have this thank you gift of a free complimentary voucher of a holiday accommodation for you and it's worldwide destination. So I'm happy to provide those for the 10th first to register, because that's as well part of having you relax, distress, and have time for yourself and come back to your dog happier, uplifted, and ready for more. So thank you again, and see you on the 26th and 27th. Bye.